Hello guys, welcome to Marley Traders. Today I will be talking about, or rather presenting, two of our indicators. Marley Traders gap indicators, or rather Marley Traders ICT gaps indicator, and the Marley Traders session ICT session indicators. I will be going through what these indicators are so you have a better understanding of what to do with it and how to use it. Technically, if you're watching this or if you are aware of SMC or ICT strategy, you will know that these indicators uh, is a must-have. Rather, well, you don't necessarily need it. Actually, you don't need it, but it makes your life easier as a trader, SMC trader, and ICT smart money concept strategy trader. So, the session indicator, like I said, this is a must-have for everyone trading traditional legacy market based off of ICT strategy. Um, so it is designed specifically to show the New York, London, and Asia session. So if we go here, let's go to the settings. So here you can usually change the time zone. Right now they changed to UTC -4, I think, New York right now. So you can choose and you can plot the number of sessions you want. We have New York, Asian, and London session, which is the three primary session that is mostly traded. The people I know anyway. You can customize it however you want. And the key zones, Asia key zones, London key zone, and New York key zone. So Asia key zone is from 19 o'clock to 12 midnight. New York time, this is New York time. You can customize it exactly as you want, and this is the London key zone. If you see, key zone has its own session. Okay, so we're starting off with the key zones because key zone is very important. You will see it later in this video how we use it. So you have the London closed key zone. First you have the London key zone, which is 2 to 5 EST or ETS, is it called that? New York Standard Time, New York time. So the settings here is based off of New York time. So if this is London, if this is London time, it will be 7 to 10 a.m. London time. And then we have London close key zone. Exactly the time here. So you can also put these times if you don't think this is correct. So, but it is correct. And then we have New York key zone, which is 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. Sometimes you can hear people talk about 10:30 a.m., give or take. So I don't really know. Whatever you feel the New York key zone is, you put it right there. So you can customize the colors and everything and where you want to put it. And then now we come to the sessions. So we start off with Asian session. This is the trading session in New York local time. So you customize the colors again as you want. Also, we have extended levels. This is almost like STD, not sexually transmitted disease. Standard deviation. Okay, so you can put up to 4 standard deviation. It's an extended Asian time, so you can use it to measure target. This is very useful. Although by default, I think it's not activated, so you can do that if you want. So this is the time. It prints the session high. You can also activate it if you like, and you can just leave it the way it is if you like. So the same goes for London. This is the trading session. This is the trading time, trading session time. Again, this is New York time. So if you're in London or wherever you are, so you have to adjust this to whatever time you want. So just like any indicator or most things that you use, you go to the settings and customize it the way you want if it doesn't suit your trading time or your strategy or whatever you want to use it for. Session high, style, session low. So it marks everything out pretty much. I will demonstrate it so you can see later. Now we come to the New York session time. So this is trading session. Now New York has two session. Okay, there is the 8:30 open, and then we have the 9:30 open. 9:30 open is the equity open. This is when we hear the bell ringing and ding 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 and whatnot whatnot. But the 8:30 open, that is when the market starts, in my opinion. And then this is the equity open. So, and then we also have the midnight open. You will also see later, but that doesn't really matter. However, this is the 9:30 open. So customize the colors as you want. Now, here comes something interesting. The CBDR, Central Bank's Dealers Range. So this is also, we use this also to measure certain areas on the chart. So to know what this does, you have to understand the concept or the strategy around CBDR. Okay, so you have to look it up, or you join the Discord, you come to our Discord. I use this a lot, and I trade privately in there. It's all free, everything, with my crew. So but few of us we're there making using these ranges you see here, as you will see later. So some of these are not activated because I don't really need it. When I do, then I put it on. So now we have the midnight, New York midnight. Okay, so this is the time, midnight, New York midnight is here, and then we have the 8:30 open. So this midnight, it means that midnight open. Okay, you will see all these settings, or rather all these sessions soon populated on the chart here. And then we have the 9:30 open, 8:30 open, and then the launch time. So this is when the New York traders go for lunch. ICT advise his students not to trade within this time. So you have to understand, again, you have to know how to work, what all these things mean. This tutorial is not to teach you what to do in 8:30 or anything. It's just to showcase these indicators for you. You should know what to do during this period. So previous day low, previous day high, weekly, all these things. So if I mark it, and then it will show in the chart, but most of them are taken out because, yeah, it's not really needed. So now let's see what this indicator can do. So here it is. This is what has been activated, or what I'm using, or rather what is on right now. So if we go to these settings again, how do you do this? Go here. Okay, so if I put now watch this Asian session. Let's go to Asia session. Extended levels 2. You see, so once you do that, it gives you these levels. So you use it to measure, for example, as you can see here, you know one standard deviation low is around here. So if you have other confluence in that area, so that is a good place for you to take profit, or where you should be uh, preparing to long into this range. Okay, so that is one way of using it. Perhaps there are other examples. We have used this many times. Here is one, and then you didn't quite touch it, but there you go. That is that. Where is it again? So that is extended levels. And if you go, if you take, if you look at midnight open, now this is very interesting. For New York or for US traders, this time I think they are sleeping. Yeah, this is New York time on my trading view. So this time these guys will be sleeping, most of them rather, anyway. But for the European traders like us, this is really cool, because if you know the strategy around midnight open, if you're bearish, then you know what to do. Okay, you know exactly what to do. Boom. See, during Asia session, take out the high, and there you go. So let's see what we can see. How did we use this indicator? Was it this one? No. So just today, for example, look at this. Let's go to, this is Swiss francs. pound France, or however you pronounce it. I don't know. First, let's take this out. Start from the daily time frame. Now, this is just going to be a little bit of a price action tutorial here. As you can see, we kind of bearish, right? We kind of bearish. So PA is bearish. I mean, the market has been wonky lately. Now you woke up, okay, yesterday you were here. Now, first of all, if you following ICT, what you want to do, you always want to start your analysis from the weekly candle. You want to know what the weekly candle is likely to do. This weekly candle closed bearishly. It did close bearishly. Now this next one, what is it going to do? So we just opened today. So what are we going to do? So these lows, this low is going to be taken out before anything, before moving to the upside, if we're ever going to move to the upside. So you'll be looking at these lows were already taken out by this. However, we still have this low. This is a major low. And what do we have here? So, okay, you have, by now you would have already measured out or marked out your swing low, higher time frame levels. Okay, I have a tutorial on how to take levels, ICT style. I have the part 1 and part 2 coming up later today or tomorrow. Anyway, so you have this daily low, and which is, by the way, a weekly now, because this is a weekly time frame. So if you do this, go to the daily. So right here we have this 50% daily order block right here. You should have already measured this out. I usually have these levels on my on a folder, but this is just an example of how we traded this today. So we know we have this point and we're just waiting for price to reach down to our higher time frame levels. So we know what to do. So we're just waiting. We're waiting. Okay. Now we go to the 4-hour time frame, and then we go to the 15 minutes time frame. So this is what happened today. Go to the 15 minutes time frame, and you do this. Put on the session indicator. So I'm a European. Oh, sorry. No. Yeah. Okay. Sorry about that. So we wake up and we bearish. We already know these levels were already marked. We know we likely come in here. 70-80% chances that we come in here. So the probability was on our side. So during Asian session, we didn't take out the high. But like I said, midnight open was just here. This is midnight open. Again, if you know the strategy around how to use midnight open, you will know this was a bread and butter setup, like my man ICT likes to call it. So all we had to do, we mark our OT right there. So this was the first trade. Boom, off you go. Right? So if you know the strategy of OT, you know when to do, what to do and when to do it. Okay, so we normally use OT for 5 during within with the 5 minutes time frame, and during London session or New York session, whatever. So the OT time for London is between 7 and 10 a.m. London time, and in New York US time is 15 to 17. I think if you calculate it, I think it is yeah, that is the key zone. Okay, don't worry about it not being in London session yet. It doesn't really matter, but it is still called London because London key zone falls here. So London key zone starts within Asian trading session. So London might already be trading by then. It doesn't really matter, but you mark out your key zone and then you off. And then you go in again here if you miss that, and then you just sell. So during London open, during this actual London session open, again, off you go. So you have some PDA here to add to your confluence. Um, you have the fair value gap, and you have the breakup structure. Either you have the order block, either you have the OT inside London session, and inside OT during London session, and off you go. You see, this is the entire London key zone time all the way here. So you can frame your setup. It doesn't have to happen. As it is said this many times, it doesn't have to happen. The just the framework the setup should form around that time. Then off you go. So we traded back, or rather we traded down all the way into this point. We were thinking we're going to reject off here or take out this PDL. PDL means previous day low right here, but it just blast through it. So TP was already taken here, another one was taken here, and then we left a runner all the way in here. So 95% of our trade was closed actually around here. I like to close my trade just before target, because yeah, I don't control this algo. They do funny things sometimes. So price just meandered and did this. I think we tried to trade the reverse back, the opposing trade around here. I got stopped out. One of them I lost a little here, and then the other one got stopped out on break even. So I waited. Now it was a miscalculation because I was still waiting for this Asian low, this low in Asian session to be taken out. So I didn't pay attention to that. So when we're reversing here from this point, reversing here, then when we took out this low, I was like, okay, now we're good to go. And where are we now? Now we're in New York key zone time, and then we traded off. So we took a smaller position here, not as big as this one here, because this was more, we were more confident about this, but we're not as confident as with this. So, and then here you can see just before launch, another OT setup formed. Okay, so if you're wondering what these things are, this is the launch hour. Okay, so this um, indicator, again, let me put it this way. Where's launch? New York launch. So this is New York launch. You see, takes it out. This is the time, and so anything you deactivate will be removed from the indicator here. So again, another trade that was no, not that, that was also highly profitable was this. Yes, this one. Okay, again, Asia low taking, PDL taking in London. Okay, and once that happened, you know what to do. Off you go. Actually, this trade, we were expecting this gap to be filled, and it didn't. So while we already took some profit out midway, we were expecting to take more profit out here, um, and then it took me out on break even. So that is what happened here. You don't always, it's hard to catch this run, and then it's hard to catch this type of run. You always TP along the way. The point is not really whether or not we made profit or not. It is to showcase the indicator and what it can do. So as you can see here, so if I populate more things, so if I press this, then it populates on the charts, then you see more stuff. But if it's not useful to you, then you don't need it. Okay, so that is the session indicator. In my opinion, if you trade any of the above sessions, Asian, London, and New York, then this is a great tool to your arsenal of if you want to be a proficient trader. You need it in among your toolkits. Of course, you can easily calculate the New York session or the Asian session yourself if you want to, but like this is what we do. We don't use traditional retail indicators. We use our indicator built for ICT strategy only because that is what we focus on. So with this session indicator, you will know how and where to position yourself and all that. So if you want to have access, you just shoot us a message or whatever or if you're in our Discord, join our come there. You see how we use it every day, taking trades. And now let's go to the other indicator, the gap indicator. Okay, which is this thing, this baby right here. So how this is a new concept actually within the ICT community. On February, I think February this last month, I think it was 25th or so, ICT introduced his followers to this new concept called the New York, rather New Week Opening Gap and New Day Opening Gap. This just made the whole Twitter space go really, really crazy. It took everybody to cloud9. What does this indicator do? Well, if you haven't been following ICT, I suggest you go follow him and go to his YouTube channel to read more or to study more about it. I will link the video below. I will share the video directly that's by ICT below so you can know more about this strategy. Okay, this is used to measure or rather to plot the lines ICT talked about. So this indicator automatically plots the new week opening gap on your chart. It marks out the Friday's closing price and Sunday's opening price, as well as the new day opening gap, which is 5 p.m. closing and 6 p.m. opening price. So if you look here, what we did with this indicator is that the color will be adjusted. We made it so that the color can be customized. Okay, so you can not that. Sorry, this is the indicator. So it doesn't have much parameters in it. It just have basic things, but it has a lot of coding. A lot of coding went into it. So you have the color, the background, and everything. The number of NWOG. How do you pronounce this? NWOG. New week opening gap. How many you want to see? ICT says he usually use 4 or 5. Yeah. So you can choose this. You can do whatever you want. You can put how many you want. The same with the new day opening up. So if the candle opens up, I mean it opens and it went up, then the color of the line will be green. If it gap down, the color will be red. So you can easily see if it was a bullish gap or if it was a bearish gap. The same here. So this is just the custom settings. You can adjust it to whatever color you want. So midline color, you can do everything just like our session indicator colors and basically indicators generally how you use them. So the regular trading hours, which is this right here, you have the regular trading hours. You see this gap. So if you put on the indicator, you see how it's respecting it. Okay, so the regular trading hour will also be plotted. So now let's fire this baby up. Okay, last week ICT was talking a lot about this. First, I think I should educate you guys a little bit about what new week opening gap and new day opening gaps are. So okay, just a basic explanation. So the relevant levels, like I said before, are the Friday's closing price and Sunday's opening price. Uh, and this indicator, what it does is it automatically marks and plots these time periods on your chart. It marks out the Friday's closing price and Sunday's opening price. Similarly, also the new day opening price and new day opening gap, um, which is between 5 and 6 p.m. Okay, this provides a proper perspective for large fund fair value valuation. If that is too much, let me explain. Large funds like market makers, banks, central banks, the big guys I will talk about, say market makers. So their proper valuation, where they put in their money. So how do they value the current market or the price or the assets? So in summary, it is used to estimate large funds fair value of the futures assets. We trade futures here, okay? So this indicator is used. Again, it is used for futures only, index futures only. It's not for crypto, it's not for Forex. As far as I know, ICT never said anything about it, and it is used for futures, so where you can have regular trading and all those that stuff, okay? So don't use it for, I think people have been asking me, they can use it for crypto. I know a lot of you traders love indicators a lot. A lot of people can't do without it, but this is a special type of indicator. It's not for those things at all. Um, okay, so it provides proper perspective for large fund valuation. So meaning the market will usually gyrate towards this new week opening gap and new day opening gap. So knowing where these gaps are, knowing where they are located is very, very valuable to traders if you're serious about what you're doing. So these areas are called price inefficiencies. The gaps between Friday's close and Sunday's open, which is the 5 p.m. close and 6 p.m. open, um, for new day opening gap, are real liquidity. Okay, again, like I said, you have to watch ICT's video, so I'm just rehashing what he said. These are not my concepts. He came up with this thing. I just created indicator for it for my community, and we trade off this like killing it every day. Okay, so when the market moves away from these liquidity voids, it will usually refer back to it. It could be in a few weeks or few months, but it will usually refer back to it. And if you look at this indicator, the gaps are dated. This is a week. This is 26th of February. And this is a day. You can see the D stands for day. You know this is a daily gap. This is a daily gap. This is a weekly gap. And there's a daily gap up there. Sometimes, like today, you will see that. Let me just move the candles. Okay, that was funny. So just move the candles away. You will see that sometimes we have the weekly and the daily within the same place, and that is because they put open in the same place. It's a new week today and it's a new day, so you will see that kind of like on top of each other, the titles there. So it's not a glitch just because it's the same day and the same week. Okay, so bring back the candles. So if you go in here, you can customize all those things yourself, the color and everything. So now let's see what we see. Last week, if we go to the settings, how many should we put? Okay, let's take it to 10. Need opening gap. You will see. You will see that how many times this traded in here. Although the market was sort of in some weird consolidation here, but you can see how often it respected it. Look at here, boom, off you go. here, here. So we have a double here. There is a new wick opening inside another new wick opening. So, and how did we use this today? Today is a very weird day to trade, but however, see what happened. Okay, uh, sorry for this, but if we look back at this back, I'm just have to measure something here in this session indicator that I forget to show you guys in the previous in the beginning of this presentation. This session indicator, this is how we used it today to trade. Yes, using the OT Asia session, London session, the same thing that was happening, or rather the same thing that we did for the forex market here. You see, London OT. You remember this? I said before, and then we went all the way down. Similar thing happened here. Enter OT. This is OT. This is OT. All the way down to our weekly level here. These levels were already there. They're already in our file long time ago. So if you look, we always have this level. We have this. You see, we call it higher time frame levels. Okay, and then we also have something called extra zones. So like I said, the tutorial for how to do this, take these levels will come in later. And if you look at this extra zone, we have consequent encroachment of old weekly right here at the same time with a weekly level, all aligning inside this place within New York key zone. So this is telling me something is about to happen because this is a higher time frame level right here. So you just go back, you just go to your lower time frame to find an entry. So that is how we use that. I just have to put this back on so you see what I'm doing. So this is how many times we traded it. Now I have to be honest, not all these. I think it was only this that I participated in. Uh, my trader members took these ones. So most of the day I actually just paper traded and tape read. It's not because I didn't trust the setup, but because, yeah, partially because I didn't trust what I was saying. The market is really weird, and I even saw ICT tweeting about it. So that's for that. Back to this indicator. So this is it. So this is how you use it. You just mark those levels and then watch for a reaction. Now, today was a weird day, like I said before, and not much. But here you see it's also finding it hard to break back past this level. And more often than not, you will see a crazy rejection like this to the tick, just reject. Now, you don't use these things in isolation, okay? You don't. Like I said, algorithm refers to these levels as old inefficiencies and old liquidity voice to fill those gaps before continuing to its direction. Okay, it's going down, but however, it remembers this place, so you always go back there to touch it or kiss it or do whatever it wants to do with it before going down to its initial destination. So understanding and having these things, this liquidity void, is very, very important. So and this indicator helps plus it for you. There are many traders that are not aware of these gaps, or rather they have forgotten about it. But even if price have passed there, but price will always refer back to it. And you should have, according to ICT, you should have between 4 to 5, but I have between 6 to 10 gaps, and then I refer to them when I want. You know. So of course, though, this gap, this indicator itself or any other indicator should not be used in isolation. So you shouldn't just concentrate all your energy into, okay, I'm just waiting. Oh, why didn't this hold? Oh, it wicked me out. No, that is not how it's used. If you are using it like that, then you just call it to get wrecked. So this is you should use it as an addition to your other tools. First of all, the thing you need to know, you need to master how to take levels. I don't see a lot of people talking about this on YouTube. They are just trying to front. I don't know. But knowing how to take levels is the most important thing as you're studying your ICT. So that is where I will start. Um, I use this on futures alone. Like I said, ES, NQ, YM, RTY. So nothing else, nothing else to it. This is not a guarantee for success. So you just so you know that at the back of your head. If you're getting wrecked on off of our indicator, it's your fault. I already showed you how we use it. So when price come close to it, we already have other things we're looking at there. We already have a bias. We already have a narrative. Okay, what are we looking for? Price to go lower or price to go higher? So all those things comes first. This comes last. Okay. So don't sit there and be thinking, oh, I'm waiting for my price to reject from here. No, price is probably not going to reject from there, and then it takes you out, and then you blow your account. Don't blame Marley. We're not responsible for that. So right now, you see this just printed as we were talking. Now it just printed. So this is the, if you go to the 1 minute time frame. So this just printed right now, which was the 5:30 and 6, not 5:30, sorry, 5 p.m. and 6 p.m., which is the daily. You see, as we're talking, this just printed right now. So that is how it works. As soon as it happens, it prints right there and then. If you're watching this, if you're expecting price to come lower and you had other things here, so this is where you'll be looking at. So for example, you could say you want to measure, you could say you want to look. What do we have here? You have an OT, you have a fair value gap, you have an order block, and you have a structure break. So you already have like I already caught like 4 or 5 things for you to take this trade. You know, financial advice, guys. Listen, man. Nothing I'm saying here is financial advice. I'm talking in terms of paper trading. Okay, so you already have like 3 or 4 things or 5 things here to take this trade to come lower. If you were doing this, if you were actually paper trading at this moment. So I think that is that. I think I've covered most the tutorial for these indicators, so how to use it. Again, if you want to use these things, you have to understand smart money concepts the way ICT teaches it. I repeat, you have to understand ICT, smart money concept from ICT's point of view. Okay, not some people talking about something and then they give it another name to make it their own. This whole thing was created and done by ICT to the best of my knowledge. Nothing else matters to me anymore. I don't do retail trading strategy anymore. So yeah, if you have any questions, you just contact us on Discord, and yeah, you have access to these babies. So this is literally how we use it. Also on Nasdaq, let me see. Yeah, you can also see it working there. You see the gap, it opens, and see how it's respecting all these levels. Boom. So if you go here, you take, and I'll probably print more, but yeah. So as you can see, I don't use, personally, I do not use a lot of indicators or irrelevant indicators. There is this other indicator by the master. So if you combine these things, okay, let me just make a little introduction of the indicators I use that I refer to if I must use an indicator. Our session indicator is a top session indicator, one of the best out there in my opinion. I've tried a few other indicators, they shit. Now, because this is mine, I created mine, or rather we in Marley, we created ours because we were not satisfied with the other ones. We have paid one, we have premium session indicators that we paid for, and it was just pure BS. Okay, no offense, it's a fact. So if you know me and I'm using your indicator, I'm just calling it for what it is. It is a piece of crap. I must have written you before to tell you about it, but anyway. And then the gap indicator also. So we also created is based off of a lot of back testing and exactly what ICT is saying, not some other crook somewhere who's trying to do something, trying to make a name for himself. So this is what we use, and then we have yeah, this is what's his name, the master. So I came across this strategy a couple of months ago. I studied it a lot, and I think it works, but I don't use it, and he does not advise anyone to use it on isolation either. Use it with other Confluence or with other things. So when you add this to your arsenal, or rather to our indicators, this is not my, it's also free on TradingView. um, he has a Discord, fairly big size community. So he's also teaching about algorithmic trading just like ICT. God bless him. Shout out to him. Masters. Master. His name is Master 7 or something like that. I can never pronounce it. But yeah. So go check him out. So this is his indicator. So I use this and our indicators, and I think, yeah, those are the things I use. And I use a tick indicator also. It's called a tick. So this one right here. So if you're trading futures, when I'm trading futures, these are the things I use. But this tick indicator, if you're going to use it, you have to know the strategy around it also. I also got introduced to this by Master. Again, shout out to him. And you use this on a 1 minute time frame. So for those of you who's asking what indicators do I use, these are the indicators that I use. So, but do not use them in isolation, and use them in the right time frame and under the right circumstances. You have to know the bias, you have to know, have your levels, and I think that will be it for now. All right, guys. So yeah, if you want to know how we do it, how we doing our taking our live trades within ourselves there, and our Discord, so you just let me know. All right, guys. That's it for now. I'm sweating already. Peace out.